Welcome to Electronica, the second day, and I'm standing here with Eben Upton, the man who has been named to be responsible for the downfall of the electronics industry with the creation of the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it's fantastic to open with that. Nice to open with that allegation.
Exactly.
It's terrifying.
No, but the Raspberry Pi has made it so accessible with electronics. You got prototyping for a cheap buck, and you got kids coming in thinking it's cool with electronics once again. So really, how can you be responsible for the downfall when you're introducing new people?
Yeah, I mean, I think we like to think we're responsible for there being an electronics industry in 20 years' time.
Exactly.
I think 10 years ago we were staring down the barrel of us just not having enough engineers to maintain a workable electronics industry in Europe.
Yeah, and to be honest, Raspberry Pi has kind of proven it to be possible to produce volume in Europe, introduce new products, and expand continuously.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. Like a lot of people, I think when we started doing Raspberry Pi, we thought, well, we're going to make cheap electronics. What are we going to do? We're going to go and build it in Shenzhen. It was one of the most amazing realizations for me. I'm a Welshman. Absolutely fantastic. 6 months into Raspberry Pi, we realized that we could actually save money by building this thing in Wales. And now all of the Raspberry Pis that come off the line are Welsh built.
Yeah, and there's a new product coming out the line pretty soon, or has it already been?
There is a new product, so let's see. Shall I pick up some toys?
Sure.
Here we are. Okay, so this is the Model B Plus. So
exactly.
this is the main Raspberry Pi, I guess, exactly. The one that does most of the volume. This has been in the market. This is the kind of revised version of the Model B. This has been in the market since July. Replaced the Model B, which we launched back in 2012.
Exactly.
With 100 megabit Ethernet, 4 USB ports, half a gigabyte of RAM at $35.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned a new product. This is the new product. This launched on Monday. Mm-hmm. This is what we call the Raspberry Pi Model A Plus. Okay. This is our value product. So this is cheaper, it's lighter, it's got a smaller footprint, and it consumes a lot less power. Okay. It's $20. So this really is our entry-level Raspberry Pi. We're trying to give people a cheaper way into that Raspberry Pi ecosystem and into the embedded Linux ecosystem.
What are your expectations on the new release?
Well, we've seen an amazing response this week. I think a lot of people, obviously, when we announced we were going to do a $25 computer 3 years ago, people really didn't believe we were going to be able to do it. To be able to take that $25 entry-level product and take another $5 out of the price point has been amazing. So we've had a very positive response. I think this time, I think we've been quite successful in explaining to people why they would want this over this. That this isn't just the poor cousin of this. No. This is if you have a device you want to run on batteries, if you have a device with a smaller footprint, if you have a device that maybe doesn't need all that memory that we bundle in here, this is probably a better choice for you. So yeah, we're very hopeful this is going to do hundreds of thousands of units this year.
Okay, but you're getting quite a little arsenal of products here now. So yeah. Are you planning anytime soon to expand your footprint in terms of manufacturing as well?
I think for the time being we're pretty happy. They're being built for us by Sony in Wales. Yeah. We're extremely happy with the quality. We're extremely happy with the cost. So I think we're going to stay there for a good long while if we possibly can.
Okay. So last question then. What's the coolest product you've seen built out of a Raspberry Pi?
So I think we're standing in front of it. This fella is Superman, and he is. There's a little cottage industry grown up around dropping things from weather balloons using Raspberry Pi. Yeah. There's a gentleman in the UK called Dave Aikman who does a lot of this, sends these things up to about 40 kilometers. When Felix Baumgartner did his jump from nearly 40 kilometers, Dave set up a teddy bear, the Babbage, who's Raspberry Pi's mascot, sent him up to, I think, about 30 meters higher than Felix, and then cut him loose and dropped him. Obviously, this fella from Google in the last couple of weeks has just beaten our record, so plans are afoot, particularly using this, newer, more lightweight Raspberry Pi. Plans are afoot to see if we can maybe get up there to maybe 42 kilometers and beat him. Superman, I think there's some video running here on the stand of Superman being dropped from, I think, a little lower, maybe 35.
So it's a bit of friendly competition going on.
Absolutely, I think dropping. The wonderful thing about this is being done by adults. Dave's a grown-up. He's a child of all ages. So he's a grown-up. The wonderful thing about Dave is that he's taken a lot of the work that he's done. He's now packaged it in a way that school children can use. Takes some of the deep engineering complexity out, produces something that a technically literate teacher can go do maybe with a group of high school students. We've seen high school students now in the UK doing this. We kind of worry maybe we might get to a point where the aviation administration in the UK start to get a little concerned about the number of balloons that are going up in the air. But right now it's just wonderful to see kids doing engineering.
Exactly. and if not the government, then you will get the environmentalists.
Absolutely. Yeah. When the whole of the countryside on the North Sea is full of burst latex weather balloons, then we know you succeeded.
Exactly. So thank you for the interview.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.